Hello, this is Dr. Dawn, your politically incorrect sex counselor, bringing you information that you may not hear anywhere else. Today, we're going to talk about how porn may affect arousal. And this is an interesting topic because oftentimes people might get aroused to something that they see that they normally wouldn't think would arouse them. And when that happens, it can cause confusion. And it can cause confusion to a point where sometimes people begin to question their sexuality. They begin to question what a turn on is. And oftentimes they are watching something that they are being fed. So you have information that is coming to you. These are basically people that are acting. It's not something that normally happens in real life. And the way that porn has exploded in many ways, it is not just, like old-fashioned porn where do you see a man and a woman having sex. It's now branched off into anything you can think of, basically, that they are producing. And when you're exposed to something like that, it can turn you on or make you aroused in ways that you did not expect to be aroused. And this could be being attracted to part of a person's body. Could be attracted to a particular scene that you never would think that would turn you on, or that's something that you wouldn't do in real life. And sometimes people get so turned on by it that they cross the line, and the way that society is now, it's just like, just do it. So if you see something that turns you on, then you should associate with that and you should go out and you should try it. Well, what happens is people do go out and they do try it, and many times it causes even more confusion. They feel shame surrounding it. It may even cause some trauma. They get themselves in situations that can be harmful. And so people suggesting that you should just go out and try something, it's not good advice. It's actually, I've worked with many people that have seen something that they think turns them on. They have tried it in real life, and they have come to find out that it has made them even more confused, or they got themselves in a bad, dangerous situation that they shouldn't have gotten themselves into to begin with. And if you think about it, none of this would have taken place if they had not watched the porn over and over again, and then understood that different things can turn you on. If you watch a particular movie, there's all kinds of different action movies out there, or horror movies, or there's different genres of movies that you can get pulled into that are interesting, that are exciting. And people just don't go out and drive in their car and go off a cliff, or they don't do some of the things that they see in movies. But when you talk about porn, sometimes people have a problem with understanding that these are just actors, that this isn't normally something that they would do sexually. And because it becomes arousing, it's just a whole different feeling. And then you think it's somehow normal, or that to you now you're aroused by it, so there's something wrong with you. You shouldn't be aroused by something that you've seen. But if you can look at it in the context that it's like watching a movie. Now you've seen this in front of you in porn, and because you're aroused by it, it doesn't necessarily mean that that is something that you need to do, that is now defining who you are sexually. And it's just something that if you feel shame or guilt over it, then just put it away. Don't watch it again. Don't indulge in it again. Don't make something bigger than it needs to be. Sometimes people will be so shocked at it, that they were aroused by it, that they now search for it, and they think, oh, I'm going to watch it over and over again to see if I get aroused, and then they think about it, and it becomes this complete obsession where now they've invested all this time, all this energy, everything into this idea that maybe they have a particular fetish, or that they are attracted to a same-sex body part, or they're attracted to a same-sex act, so therefore now they are gay all of a sudden. Or maybe they looked at, I don't know, there's just various things that are on, that pornography portrays, that can turn somebody on, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you would naturally be turned on to it. That's what I'm trying to get at with this video. I'm trying to put out a warning out there and say that just because you see it, just because you're aroused by it, don't think that that defines who you are. Don't think that you need to go out and try it. You don't have to feel shame over it. Just stop watching it. Stop investing your time in it. Stop putting energy into it. Because these are all choices that you make. You choose to turn the phone on or the computer on. You choose to surf the internet for something particular. You choose to watch it. And in essence, you choose, if you're turned on, to continue to think about it and make it bigger than it needs to be. Just realize that we are all animals. We can get turned on by sexual situations, but it doesn't mean that it defines who we are. We can also push those aside and focus our energy and our minds on something that may be a turn on as well, but you don't feel shame over, or you don't feel like you have to put yourself in a dangerous situation, or that it changes who you are or you identify with. So this idea of you just have to explore every option, or that you have to define everything, that's not reality. It's not even healthy. So turn off the computer, put away your phone, and if it's something that is ruining your life, make a decision to do away with it. There's other ways to get turned on. People can use their brains and fantasize about things. They don't have to be fed information. If you're in a relationship, you can explore different things with your spouse that maybe turns you on or turns them on, or read a novel that depicts a certain fantasy that you enjoy, so that you're activating your mind. You're actually thinking of the stuff that turns you on, and you're not being fed somebody else's fantasy. Because if you really think about it, watching porn is somebody else's fantasy that they're basically pushing onto you, and you're accepting that it's your fantasy too, because maybe it turned you on a little bit. But that's not really reality. That's just you buying into a fantasy that somebody else thought up. And let me tell you, there's some really raunchy, not healthy stuff out there. There's some really nasty porn that's being portrayed out there that's violent, that really uses ways to manipulate your mind in certain ways. Because if you're talking about mixing a sense of violence with arousal, now you have adrenaline and arousal, and so that's even hyping up the situation more. It's like a high-speed chase that also arouses you, watching a high-speed car chase done by a really good movie studio. So now they've added in the arousal aspect of it, and it really grips you and brings you in, and you want more of it. But it's not necessarily healthy, and it certainly doesn't define who you are sexually or as a person. So I really wanted to bring you this information. I've gotten many emails about this. I've worked with many people over the years who really have in some ways been damaged by this idea that you have to just try something that you've seen, or that if you are turned on by it, now there's something wrong with you. That's not true. It's what you put into it, the energy you put into it, the thoughts you put into it, the shame you may feel about it, that is really creating the problem. So the idea is to turn it off. If you need help with this, I do take questions on my website. I do charge a small fee, and I also do make appointments. You can reach me on my website at thehappyspouse.com. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not already. Share my videos. Give me a like, leave your comment. And as you know, I believe everyone deserves to have a healthy sex life, and so do you.